A national advocacy group that helps the poor is under fire here and across the country over a series of hidden camera video recordings. Good evening and thank you for joining us. The news keeps getting worse for ACORN. The controversial group is in danger tonight of losing all federal funding.
This comes in the wake of a scandal involving ACORN offices across the country, including right here in National City. The local hidden camera video shows that an ACORN employee allegedly offered to help smuggle underage girls across the border.
News 8's Steve Price is live in National City with new information about that ACORN employee. Steve?
And Carlo and Barbara Lee, at least for now, ACORN has stopped all services, and not just here at their South Bay office, but across the country as well, as an independent advisory council investigates exactly what happened.
There's 12 girls, but there's like 13 to 15 years old.
The video doesn't look good for ACORN's National City office. A prostitute and her boyfriend come to them in August and appear to be asking for help smuggling young prostitutes into the country.
It's better in Tijuana.
Tijuana?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I have a lot of contacts in Tijuana.
Okay, and they might be able to assist crossing the border?
Yeah.
The ACORN employee seen here is Juan Carlos Vera, who says the video completely takes that meeting out of context.
He blamed for my sentiments because I never in my life do something wrong.
Juan Carlos says the couple came to him looking for help to get away from a pimp. He says on multiple occasions he offered to call the police.
The guy told me, no, don't call the police.
Juan Carlos adds that while the video is edited to make it appear that he's offering advice to smuggle young girls into the U.S., he says the truth is that he's telling them how to get help for the girls to get away from the dangerous pimp.
There's no prostitution at ACORN. There's no smuggling of people across the border. We fight for health care. We fight for education. We fight against foreclosures.
And we're talking child prostitution, human smuggling. I mean, who does this?
The San Diego Republican Party says this happened in too many cities to simply be editing trickery or a misunderstanding, and they are demanding a formal investigation into ACORN's actions. Congress is also concerned with both the House and Senate taking steps today to cut ACORN's federal funding. For now, ACORN has stopped all services nationwide, while an independent advisory council takes a closer look at the tapes.
We condemn what the practice is. We condemn the partisan attacks of these videos, but we accept the responsibility of some of the imperfections in our systems that it's exposed.
Now, Juan Carlos tells us that he called the police after the couple left his office. We checked with National City Police. The chief there does confirm that he did call. However, when they followed up with him a couple of days later, Juan Carlos decided that the whole thing was a hoax and did not continue with the formal process there. In the meantime, ACORN believes that these tapes were made illegally, and they are now looking at their legal options. But Barbara Lee and Carlo, I tell you, we have two very different sides of the story here, and it seems the only way we're going to really know what happened is if we are allowed to see the entire tapes, and so far that has not happened.
Yeah, Steve, that was the big question I was going to ask. Is there an unedited copy of that video, and is there any way to get a hold of that? Because the picture painted here is quite damning of an organization that's mission is to help those who are in poverty. It's really an awful picture they painted.
Yeah, at this point, we are only being allowed to see about 12 minutes of the video, and we haven't been told if we are at some point going to be able to see the whole thing. But it was interesting, Carlo, because we watched it the first time under what we had heard from the filmmakers, and we said, okay, that's what happened. Then you hear Juan Carlos's version of the story, and you watch it again, and you can say, well, I could see how his version of the story is correct, too. It's interesting to watch it under both circumstances.
We haven't heard the full story, obviously. Thanks,
No.
Steve.